All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the Truth Train. Needless to say, I've been sick a couple of times these last 35 days.
Needless to say.
Had the flu, I think. Had a cold. Had another cold. And now I'm starting to develop something else.
And everyone is very excited about what you're achieving.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's strange times.
Right.
Strange times, indeed. And people are going mental.
Hey, not only that, but the sanity barometers are exploding. And we all know what that means.
That is true. And what a time for explosions when we were getting closer to Christmas.
Hey, this is an official Christmas Bonanza Explosion special.
Right. This is a Christmas special. Christmas is around the corner. People are huddling in position to get into the stores, buying the stuff. Yeah, it's just it's a train wreck. It's the worst of humanity if you think about it.
But also
buying stuff to show you how much you love someone.
Hey, but how else would you show them?
No, there is no other way.
There is no other way.
No.
But even though this is a pro-Christmas podcast, we appeal most to those who hate Christmas the most.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we?
I mean,
I think we relate to them somehow, but that's on them.
No, but I'm just saying
that's not our. It's not our target market. Unhappy people.
No, it's just that we happen to.
Yeah, it's a happenstance. It's not like we've designed this podcast for the people who are crying on Christmas Eve.
No.
Right?
No, but
which is the majority, of course.
Of course, but it's a statistical anomaly that they love this pro-Christmas podcast.
And these people are like dreading the Christmas. They're dreading the sleds, dreading the noise, dreading the jingle bells, and it's just hellish for them. And I would understand why.
Yeah, Christmas fetal position.
Yes. But this is, of course, it's also happy times, and it's a family time.
Yes,
let's be honest.
It is.
It is a time where it's a time where you sit down and get to know your family better, right? And people have already started. Because in Australia, there was a guy who took his son. And usually when you take your son out to do something in the Christmas spirit, it doesn't involve shooting.
No, usually not.
Usually not, right? But a guy here went down to Bondi Beach, brought his son and a couple of shotguns, and then started to just like shoot at random people.
Yeah.
Which I think is wrong.
It's not.
It's a wrong way of spending time with your son.
Especially during Christmas, at least.
Yeah. And also, I saw the video of the shooting. And there's something, like, because it looks like his dad dies in front of him. And he just continues shooting. He's not going over to his dad like, no. He's just like, oh, yeah, he's dead now.
Which is rare for a father-son shooting.
Yes.
Because usually they're more preoccupied with each other getting hit.
But he like dies in front of him, and he's not like over and checking on him or anything. He just lies on the floor. He just like looks at him. And he just like continues shooting,
which is a testament to his dedication to the cause.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The cause above all else.
And then after they got, he got shot, the son, and then the police comes over, and then but also civilian people comes over, and they start like punching and. Kicking the corpse of the father and the shot son,
which is a Christmas activity that you don't see enough of these days.
Well, I mean, I totally get it.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand it, and yeah.
Hey, son, do you want to join me for a day at the beach? You know,
what a great idea.
Yeah, right.
Bring the shotguns. No, it's completely wrong. We do not condone it.
We do condone father-son activities, but not that kind.
One man who wrestled a gun from one of the attackers before getting shot is recovering in the hospital. So there was a hero amongst these people. A called Ahmed, a guy from Syria.
Right.
He got shot in the arm 2 times,
Right.
but still took. And of course, there's a lot of information we don't know yet. But 15 people, and targeting Australia's Jewish community, which is, I mean, at the beach. That's not only Jews on that beach.
No.
Right? It's like, it's only Jews on the beach today. So let's stay out of the water.
Right.
Right? Even the sharks doesn't no. You can't just go to a beach and shoot people. That's not how it works.
Nope.
Even though it's like, there's a congregation of Hanukkah, people who are celebrating whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't go down there with a shotgun and your son to show them your what do you call it? Unhappiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're saying it's wrong because a lot of people who listen to this podcast can swing either way.
Right.
Like sanity or insanity.
Right.
So we're just saying that is wrong.
Okay.
Don't shoot your opponent.
I think a lot of people can easily go straight into just sort of analyzing it without starting with the basics, which is, this is terrible.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because you're giving your audience maybe a little bit too much credit if you just assume everyone thinks it's terrible. You should tell them, this is terrible.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about family.
Yeah, which we are.
Also in the news, Nick Reiner, Rob Reiner's son, the Hollywood producer.
Who made When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, amongst other movies. Spinal Tap.
It was in Sleepless in Seattle.
That too.
Yeah.
So his son killed his mother and father, Rob Reiner.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know actually why and stuff, but he knifed them to death.
Just a quick little thing. Am I crazy? Or does it seem that like more crazy things are happening now than maybe 25 years ago? Or was it all the same back then?
I don't know. But I did read a statistic today, and it's somebody said, but there is violence in Australia. Like, look, there's gun violence in Australia too, and they banned the guns. Right? The Americans like saying like, hey, look, like even though they banned guns, people got shot and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Australia is a smaller country, like population-wise, and America's bigger. And the statistic is that in America, there's 500 times more gun violence than Australia.
Right.
If you look compared to the population.
Per capita.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Americans, of course, trying to like give you the argument of not, keeping the guns and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, Nick Reiner killed his parents, and this guy took his son for a trip at the beach. And I think the holiday spirit is somewhat damaged here.
Yeah.
But we are here to resurrect.
We are. We're here to fix it.
And we're here to fix it. And of course, Mr. Donald Trump, he said in the news that Rob Reiner had so Rob Reiner's found dead, and then Trump goes on Truth Social and says that Rob Reiner had Trump derangement syndrome. And he was criticizing him for all these years, and Trump has built the most robust economy, and we're doing great, and we sealed the border. So he's just like piggybacking about all the great stuff Trump has done, and people are now like, listen, a guy's dead. Don't talk about yourself and how great you are.
Right.
And he's now questioned about that. He's like. Somebody's asking him like, what are you doing? So here's a CNN reporting on that. Well, they should be, because there's sound right there.
Criticism for what he has said on his Truth Social platform about Rob Reiner. He accused him of having Trump derangement syndrome. He said he was known to have driven people crazy by his...
So here's Trump. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling, but once very talented movie director. You know?
Yeah.
A horrible thing happened. Like this fuckhead McGee that was nice at some point. And his passed away with his wife. Reportedly due to anger, he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace.
That's quite a eulogy.
That fucking guy. I mean, and it's like, and people are like, how do you defend what your mad king just said?
Right.
Anyway, so, and of course, CNN is reporting on this, and you know, they're a bunch of shitheads too, but.
His raging obsession with Donald Trump. He called him tortured and struggling, but once very talented. Trump then, just a few moments ago, had this to say in a Q&A with reporters. Let's take a look.
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. You know, it was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. He became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country.
Yeah.
Do you even
there you go.
process the fact that this...
There you go.
Wow. What a sane world.
Yeah, it's getting saner by the minute.
It's getting saner and saner.
But what is your take on this, Dex? People tune into this podcast to listen to what you have to say. Okay, people are going crazy on the beach. People are killing their parents. It's Christmas around the corner. What's going on?
Yeah. You know, I think one of the wisest things I've ever heard, right, is something you said. And you said that you were talking about a specific group of people that you hated so much. And then you said, but it's not racist because I hate everyone the same.
Right.
And that's, I think, what people...
I was talking about, I knew a person, you asked me, is he racist? And I said, I don't know. He hates everyone.
That's right.
So I can't say if he hates a specific group.
Right.
He just hates every group.
But that's the point. I think where people get into a lot of trouble is they have hope and they have optimism and they think, hey, maybe these people will do something good. Or maybe those people over there are nice.
Right.
But I think if you just hate everyone the same and expect everything to go terribly always, then you're set up for a sweet ride. You know? The problem is that people assume people are sane.
Right. That's the problem.
Yeah, and no one really hates everyone else enough, kind of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So optimism, that's out now. That's more of a 2018 kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, optimism is out.
Right. So what you should do is you should strap in to the sanity roller coaster that is 2026, right?
Yeah.
And then take all your hopes and dreams and throw them out the side of the roller coaster. Kind of like scooping water out of the Titanic. That's how necessary it is to get it out, right? Even though it's meaningless what you're doing, it's still the right thing to do.
Right.
Right? So
Yeah.
everyone is terrible. Everything is meaningless. And the only thing you can do is make more money as you wait for the inevitable sinking ship that we call life.
Did you know that? Did you know that the Titanic, like they had like these, what do you call them? These like different shutting doors or compartments. Like, okay, if it's a hole there, you can shut down that. But it didn't have a roof. So if it ran over, it then just like ran over to the other compartments and then it sank. right?
Yeah.
And that is what is happening with humanity here. We're like trying to shut something down here, but it's still like it just pours in and it goes over the rim, over to the next compartment,
Yeah.
and then you get the unbalance. So that is what's happening.
Titanic is a wonderful metaphor for humanity.
I think we should use it more.
Hey, speaking of which, you know those violin guys that played to the end?
Yeah, the heroes.
Right. And the captain also goes down with the ship. What happens to the chefs?
I think they were cooking until the last meal was served. Like the water was pouring in. Fry those potatoes.
They just keep cooking.
Yeah, keep cooking.
They keep cooking until the water comes up to here.
Yeah, I think so. And the bartenders were mixing drinks even though the water was coming in. Because everybody was like, being a...
Right.
It's a code of honor people had back in the days.
They did.
Yeah.
But also in 19...
the cleaning ladies were changing sheets.
Changing sheets.
While the water was running in.
Till the end.
Yeah.
But what was great about, I'm in a 12-step fellowship, right? What was great about 1912 is there was no Alcoholics Anonymous yet, which means you could never get help. You had to just drink yourself to death.
Yeah, you weren't anonymous. You were public.
You were the public
Alcoholic.
The public
Yeah,
alcoholic.
the town drunk.
That's right. So on a ship like that, I mean, people weren't afraid to hit that bar.
Exactly.
And especially since the bartenders were mixing toward the end. That was the code of honor.
I think it was like before I talked about this with a friend of mine. We talked about Japan. Japan has this great history of like if you've dishonored yourself,
Yeah.
you have now a choice to kill yourself in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, okay, to like regain something,
Yeah.
like reclaim my honor,
Right.
I'll kill myself. And then people are like, well, he wasn't a coward. He did kill himself.
So we can forgive him.
But it's more like he kept his honor.
Right.
Like even though he did something wrong, he kept his honor. And I think I'm not saying that people should do that. I'm just saying we should have something like that.
Yeah.
There's no accountability anymore.
Yeah.
There's nobody committing seppuku or what it's called.
Yeah.
Harakiri.
Harakiri, something.
Yeah, but in Japan it was seppuku or something.
People should like cut off a finger, That would be a nice little middle way.
For what?
I don't know, for, hey, I can't believe your wife's pregnant. And she goes, oh, I'm not pregnant. Well, hold on. Let me just chop this off. And then you take out the, those clippers.
Cigar cutters.
Yeah, yeah. And you cut off a finger. And they go, you are forgiven.
Right.
Right? And then people would be more careful about what they said.
Yeah, like you park in a handicap space.
Yeah.
And then you cut your ear off.
Well, at least you...
As a token of wrongdoing.
Maybe there should be like... I remember back in the days, there were those things you shoved your head and hands into. Do you remember those? What are those things called? Like the stocks or something? People are just like stuck in a thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, what is it called again?
Anyway, back in the day, in Denmark, there was a king who just kept wanting to go to war. And Norway, and I think Sweden as well, were also like part of Denmark. And he kept fighting these wars and he needed to finance the wars. So he just kept taxing everything. And then what he did was he put in a shoe tax. And so government bureaucrats would go door to door and then count your shoes. Right? And they would be like, oh my God, the bureaucrats are coming. Hide your shoes. And then you had to explain to them you didn't own shoes and stuff like that. So anyway, that was the state of affairs. But because there wasn't enough money for war, what they would do is if anyone cheats, they owe the equivalent of a cow. And nobody even had a cow. That's the same as like owning Dubai today. So then they would put you in the local stocks. Like they would put you in this thing where your head and hands are stuck. And then they would say, you owe us a cow. And then if you didn't have the money, I guess you had to go fight for them. Or you had to give up your cow. But either way, that cow was going to fight now for Denmark. You see?
Public humiliation equipment.
Yeah. Who's producing that these days?
Scold's bridle? Is that something?
No. That can't be right. Stocks.
No, medieval pillory. Yeah, like antique. Here it is. Antique But it doesn't say what it is.
You know, another thing too is like, why aren't hangings public anymore? What's going on with that?
I think they kind of are.
They aren't.
Well, in the countries who do that.
Yeah, but I mean, those countries are all sort of done for anyway. I mean, it's not like they have Hollywood movies or anything, you know? I'm just saying like normal democratic countries.
Medieval pillory.
What does that mean?
That's what antique device used for punishment by public humiliation and physical abuse. Old wooden stocks isolated with clipping path.
Yeah, but that's medieval stuff.
Right.
They used to take 4 horses and tie one to each limb, and then they would scare the horses and they would rip you apart.
Yeah.
That would be a good punishment for stealing a piece of licorice, kind of.
Right.
Because then no one would do it.
Yeah, increase the punishment, you say.
Increase the fear. But anyway, not only that, but if you do steal the licorice, you shouldn't try to run and hide either. You should be honorable and say, I am ready to be ripped apart now.
It is called stocks, actually.
They are, aren't they?
But those are for the feet. Stocks are feet restraining devices that were used as a form of corporal punishment and public humiliation.
Right.
The use of stocks is seen as early as ancient Greece.
But if you're now the dictator of Earth, right? What is to be gained by public punishment? I mean, I know why I would like it, but why would you like it?
I think well, we already kind of do it, right? If there's like a high, like a famous court case, and you have, like, they film from the court, like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It's kind of a public humiliation.
Yeah.
You get your case stated, she shit in my bed and she's a crazy girl. She's, stealing and manipulating and lying and cheating and everything. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, but he was mad at one morning. Right. Right. That was her defense. Mm-hmm. And that he beat her with rings and stuff hours before a premiere. And then you saw her on the red carpet, and she has like no bruises, no swelling, no nothing. Yeah, but she had like really good makeup,
right,
going on.
Right.
So, anyway, so that's a kind of public humiliation.
Yeah.
But I think we should
bring back shame, is what you're saying.
Like, shame should be reintroduced.
It's lacking.
There's no. We've talked about this before. Do you know how rich me and you would be if shame didn't exist?
Right.
If we didn't give a shit?
Right, yeah. If we didn't care.
If we didn't care?
Yeah.
I mean, we would be, selling nudes to old men.
Yes.
Right?
Exclusively.
Highest bidder.
That's right.
And I think that's worth thinking about.
Yeah.
So, but when it comes to the whole public punishment thing, I think as a society right now, I don't think this is going to end well.
Why not?
Because the money is being deflated, or inflated rather.
Right.
Inflation, and everything's getting more expensive. And that's not going to change anytime soon.
Uh-huh.
It's not like that's going to change. At least, how would it? You have a degree in business and stuff.
Finance.
There you go. How is that going to change? Like, how is affordability going to come back?
Well, I mean, what's funny is that, like, my degree taught me that, like, inflation is made in Washington, and, like, you got to cut government spending and, like, fix stuff, and, like, central banks are somehow involved, like as if central banks are some sort of government entities. But then David Icke came along, and he taught me the truth. And the truth is that the central banks are run by banking families who are a cover for the reptiles who actually control Earth. And the point now is they want to destroy Western civilization and hand all that power over to China, because every couple hundred years the power bases change for the reptiles, right?
Right.
And I like that way more than all the stuff I learned at University of British Columbia Sauder School of Business.
Because they wouldn't agree with that theory?
You know what's funny is they didn't even have a single course on reptiles.
Right.
Right? You call yourself a school?
Reptilian economy. Economics.
You call yourself
You call yourself a
place?
professor?
You call yourself a place of learning?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
No,
Right?
yeah. Okay. So what is the David Icke is saying that it's the powers going to China now?
Well, I mean, he's basically saying that the whole point right now for the reptiles is to create a war between Russia and China and the West,
Right.
which then will lead to a totalitarian dictatorship where everyone is forced to take vaccines. For obvious reasons.
Which is what is the obvious reasons?
Microchips.
Microchips.
Yeah, or like, you know, you're supposed to get like some sort of like personal ID put in your arm so we can usher in a 1984 Orwellian surveillance state.
Yeah, but that already exists.
Yeah, but it's more official then.
More official.
And people need a war to sort of like truly accept it. Just fine, chip me.
Well, that is true.
You know what I mean?
You need an external threat,
That's right.
and people will give away their rights.
That's it.
I mean, people say, well, that's a conspiracy. No, it's not.
No.
I can prove it. The Patriot Act.
Yes.
George W. Bush.
Yes.
Look it up.
You know, it's funny. I remember being down in Texas when Bush was president. Man, they loved him.
Yeah.
I remember meeting an African-American guy who was sitting there just dressed like a Texas Ranger, right? And he's like, I vote Republican until I die. You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, do you want a sarsaparilla? You know? And he would hand me this beverage with a bunch of ice cubes in it. And then I rode around on his horses, and I thought, wow, being a conservative sure is the life.
Yeah, they have a... But it is funny because, like, okay, so I learned the other day, okay, because we were talking about the end of the world there, which is a Christmas-related topic.
It's what Christmas is really all about.
It is.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so there's $38 trillion in debt
Just in America.
just in America.
Yeah.
And every third month, they add another trillion to the deficit,
Wow.
to the existing debt.
That's impressive.
Because, you know, it's interests and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And also the government spending is always, they're always going in the red every quarter or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So they're using more money than they have or coming in. So, and why is it like that? Well, it's because when they went off the gold standard in 1971 with Nixon,
Yep.
the people who wanted that was the people who wanted to change the rules. And by doing that, they saw, okay, well, at least, well, then the elite will have the or the power, at least, to get more money, to then change the rules even further, so that, you know, and then by increasing debt and inflation and all that stuff, your money, if you saved your money in a box in 1971 and took that money out today, it would be worthless. Right, even though it was like $1,000 at that time,
Yeah.
Today is pennies on the dollar.
And also, can I say just quickly,
Sure.
if you have a hard time starting conversations with your family at Christmas, just memorize that monologue and throw that down as soon as the turkey comes in.
Yeah, did you know that they add $1 trillion to the deficit?
And then, you know what I mean? That's a conversation starter.
So, and then of course, but I don't know about exactly every detail, of course, but it's just like, and then of course there's rich lobbyists who can change the rules by outsourcing jobs. That was a big thing also. You had steel mills and you had all this manufacturing base in America, but then they changed the rules, which now means that, oh, hey, you can produce the same thing, but in a different country, and we don't tax you as much on that.
And that's why everybody loves people who are on the Panama Papers.
Exactly.
Because, hey, by the way, if you show up at a date and she thinks like, ugh, you're pathetic, what a loser, right? And you throw down the Panama Papers and your name is on them. I wish I was on them.
But but again, I wish we were on that, because that means that you're in a group of the elites,
Yeah.
right? And that's the only way out now, is through the top.
Yeah.
It's the only way, because what's going on right now? Okay, so when you bring up a
Sorry, the only way out is through the top.
yes,
It used to be the only way out is through, right? Or like the only way out is no, it's up now.
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah.
That's the only way to get out.
It's the only way to escape.
So if you think you're like, I have
The
to...
only escape is up.
Yes.
That's it.
That's the only escape.
Yeah.
So, it is. I wish it wasn't true.
It's true.
I wish it wasn't true.
Yeah.
But Panama Papers, you bring up a great point.
Yes.
Who went to jail?
Right. Right.
People hid over $20 trillion through the Panama Papers.
Uh-huh.
Who went to jail?
Probably the people who, probably the whistleblowers who showed the government the Panama Papers.
Probably.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna ask Chat or one of the. I'm not gonna promote ChatGPT. It's owned by murderers. But
Is it?
yeah, if you believe some stories,
Right.
there was a guy. OpenAI
Yeah.
started ChatGPT.
Right.
And the guy who it was a whistleblower said, "Hey, these guys are like stealing and turning this into it's supposed to be like a nonprofit."
Mm-hmm.
And then some guys were like, "Hey, we can make billions here."
Yeah.
So and the rumor is allegedly somebody in the business ordered a kill on that guy who kind of like, "Hey, we were supposed to be a nonprofit, kill him,"
Right.
but we don't know. Allegedly.
It was probably a crypto bro. They're pretty fearless when it comes to that stuff.
They do a lot of stuff.
They're not afraid to do stuff.
Okay. Who went to jail
For the Panama Papers.
for the Panama Papers?
That's right. And this is another thing people are going to be bringing up in general at Christmas parties and stuff.
Like, I would ask people who are listening to this podcast, when they're passing around the gravy, you want more gravy? Yes, Grandma. Also, do you know who actually went to jail because of the Panama Papers? So here's a conviction related to Panama Papers. Harold Joachim von der Goltz, a U.S. resident taxpayer who pleaded guilty to crimes including tax fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering related to schemes revealed by the Panama Papers. He was sentenced to 4 years in U.S. federal prison. Okay, so in short, 2 people have gone to the U.S. To prison in the U.S. connection with crimes exposed by the Panama Papers.
And they made a movie about that with Meryl Streep, I think.
The major figures behind the law firm that generated the leaked documents, Mossack and Fonseca,
Yeah.
were acquitted in the Panama Papers and did not go to jail in that trial. 2 people. There were people who are hiding $20 trillion, having this law firm in Panama, like just lying their asses off. And nobody went to jail.
You know what someone should do? Imagine this, right? Rupert Murdoch. Okay? Notorious for his pyramid scheme. Wait,
Right.
no. Is that Rupert Murdoch? No, Rupert Murdoch is the Fox News guy. Who's the pyramid scheme guy on Wall Street? Bernie Madoff.
Right.
Anyway, so Bernie Madoff had this massive pyramid scheme, and he stole billions of dollars, and a lot of it from the royal family and all these famous people, right? So he's all over the newspaper for a little while. He's now a notorious criminal, but a suave, cool criminal in a suit who smells like cologne. Probably Sauvage, that Johnny Depp Dior brand,
Right.
Like, this is someone who, if you saw Bernie Madoff out at a restaurant, even though he's in prison for life, but I assume he's in prison, but if you saw Bernie Madoff out at a restaurant, you're going to be like, notice him and be like, oh my God, he's not a boring old guy in a suit, right? Mm-hmm. He is just a world-renowned criminal. Now, because the average person doesn't really read the Wall Street Journal or finance papers, there should be a company that takes average people, puts them up in a suit, does a bunch of photo shoots with them on the street, and then portrays them as a major financial player who has done terrible things.
Right.
And then there's a fake trial, you know, they're all over the news. There's headlines. You stole money from the people, the working class, blah, blah, blah. And then they're acquitted. And then and then they can go into society with all this cachet, right? Now that would really help you on Tinder, as an example. Like, there's that guy from the news, you know?
So, just to give you some numbers, right? Because what we're talking about here is just like, okay, it was one story amongst many. But I have a point here at the end. So these documents detailed 214,000 offshore entities, okay? Such as shell companies and trusts, connected to people and organizations from more than 200 countries and territories. So high-profile individuals, around 140 politicians and public officials, including former heads of state and current, their relatives and associates, celebrities, business leaders. And so we're involved in this, right? And only a smaller number faced direct charges, for example, 27 to 28 people, including the firm's founders. Direct charges, that's not convictions.
Right.
What I'm trying to say here, why isn't there riots in the street? Right? Why aren't people like now, like, just like, okay, this system, it doesn't work. That guy has to go to jail because he didn't pay the speeding ticket. But this guy is hiding trillions. And he's just like, yeah, but it's complicated.
Yeah. That's it. It's pretty complicated.
It's too complicated.
You wouldn't understand.
Hey, listen. There's one guy here who was convicted. He got 39 months in jail.
Right.
Right? Okay. What if you admit and then we get like a plea deal thing? You reduce sentence.
Right.
Okay, 39 months. I hit a couple of billions. Oh, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Right? You know, 3 years in prison. Yeah, that's and then I have the money when I get out. Perfect.
Yep.
It's like going to school.
Yeah.
So this is the world we live in. And if you think that the law is equal for everyone, everybody is equal under the law.
Yep.
No, it's bullshit.
Yeah. I remember when the Ukraine-Russia war broke out.
Yeah.
Then I have a friend of mine who I saw who's very anti-government and very anti-narrative and very anti-COVID and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I said to him, have they told us what side we're on yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he laughed and nobody else laughed. Everyone else just sort of like, no, they haven't said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just what I think is so, like, I don't know if you've ever thought this about me or noticed it about me. Most people probably haven't. But I'm kind of an angry individual.
You are.
That's crazy, I know.
You're angry.
This is kind of like me coming out of the closet as angry.
Okay.
But I get really, really angry. What angers me the most is when the television tells people what to think and they think it.
Right.
And they're just like, no, but this is complicated. Like the former chief of NATO, I believe, he paid no taxes.
Right.
Right. And then he gets affiliated with a political party that tells everyone they have to pay more taxes.
It's great.
And then people go, yeah, but it's different because it's not different because of anything. The TV just told you not to be outraged.
Yeah, but that's the law. That's how they have designed it that way.
But we're just talking about the riots now. And the fact is that people go like, no, but the TV told me not to be outraged, you know? And that drives me crazy. And that's why I catch myself like Googling Swiss pods and stuff because I can't be around these people.
Yeah, you just want to run to a pod as soon as you hear that.
Don't walk, run to a pod. And that's real resilience.
I have to change some of my numbers here.
Okay.
Because I heard the number 20 trillion, but it's 7.6 trillion. That's what an economist called Gabriel Zuckman estimated.
Nice.
Which is 8% of the global financial wealth.
Wow.
Was hidden. 8%.
Hey, speaking of which, what do you think of this sentence, right? There's all like, you know what's funny is on like mainstream people, whenever like somebody goes like, hey, I don't think vaccines work, they'll go, conspiracy theorists, right? Or you go, hey, I think lockdowns are bad. Conspiracy theorists, they keep using that. But on the other side, and sort of among the alternative people, whatever they say, they go, that's a psyop. That's a psyop. Christmas is a psyop.
Yeah.
You know, everything's a psyop. Anyway, so among these people, there's a lot of weird stuff, and you got to take everything with a grain of salt. But there's one picture of a globe, and it says, the world is like $135 trillion in debt. Who do we owe that money to? Right? And they're obviously going there like, reptiles much?
Yeah.
You know? But at the end of the day, who do we owe it to? Since you're you're a certified sanity inspector.
Yeah.
You have been since the 80s. So who do we owe it to?
Well, I'm going to answer that. But before I answer it, I'm going to ask them just to see what they say. Okay?
Do it.
Okay, so who do the... What is it called again?
Okay.
It's called the...
Who is all the world's debt owed to?
Who is all...
Who is all the world's debt owed to? It'd be really funny if they wrote the reptiles. Then I would be acquitted. You know? Who do we owe it to?
So, Grok, which I'm using.
Ooh, like the underground one.
Global debt, the total owed by government, businesses, financial institutions, and households worldwide exceeds 300 trillion, as of recent estimates.
We're in great shape. Hey, that's a very Christmassy fact, by the way.
This isn't owed to a single entity like a secret organization or the rich in a conspiratorial sense.
Right.
Instead, it's a vast interconnected system where borrowers owe money to lenders within the global economy. So who holds the debt? Debt is primarily owed to domestic investors, institutions, pension funds, mutual funds, insurance companies, and banks. Individual savers, directly or via retirement accounts like the 401k. This often means governments owe it to ourselves. In other words, citizens, saving funds, government bonds.
Right.
Right.
You know what I think is relatively interesting? In these conspiracy circles, right, which I mean, I certainly don't hang around with them.
Not anymore.
No. I've changed. But what's interesting is this, right? They'll say stuff like, okay, so you go to the bank and you want to get a loan for a house, right? And you borrow $1 million. So what they do is they just type in $1 million into the computer, and then now it exists out of nowhere.
Right.
So banks just create money out of nowhere, and now you got to pay them back that $1 million, which didn't exist until you borrowed it, plus interest on it. Right. So Bank of America and all these banks, like they're just sitting there like collecting all the stuff, and then they go like, and then they really want you to be like outraged, right? But at the end of the day, like what do you want me to do about it? Like, what do you want me to do about it? There's never a solution to like, oh yeah, you know, the banks are ripping everybody off. That's great and all, but what do I do about it? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, there's, I mean, the way we got into the situation, it was through lobbying.
I thought you were going to say, well, first of all, a good manifesto.
First I would do is buy a bulletproof vest.
That's number one.
And then buy a bunch of beans.
Right.
And gold. Right. And it's gold is getting a bad rap nowadays, because now that's getting to become like this doomsday prepper money.
Right. Conspiratorial money.
Yeah, conspiratorial money.
Yeah.
Like you're buying gold, what, you're an idiot? Like that's like, but it's actually the only thing that will not like lose its value in a way.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it can go up and down, of course, but it will never, like in the doomsday, when that comes, which I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah, the doomsday wars.
It's gonna happen either through war, comets, solar flares, asteroids, tectonic shifts. You know, war. Yeah, war and all that, disease.
Right.
Don't underestimate the disease.
Yeah, but like once the comet hits, then everyone starts fighting each other anyway. So it always ends with a war.
Yeah, but also, yeah, or it's so many people die that it's impossible to even have a war.
I thought it was the fact that the infrastructure goes down so hard that everybody just starts ripping each other apart.
Yeah, well, yeah, but on a smaller scale, like nations will stop fighting, but neighbors will start fighting.
I think fighting is good because people don't appreciate not fighting. You know what I mean by that?
No,
I mean, I think most people, my grandparents were just very, 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 very happy
yeah,
that there was no war going on.
they were happy about that.
Yeah, because they were born in the 1920s. Everything was before the war, during the war, after the war. That's how their whole lives were talked about in that way.
Yeah,
But we don't. We just go, oh yeah, after McDonald's, before the movie theater. You know, we don't
Right.
have those kind of reference points.
right.
So we also need sort of like before the terrible event, during the terrible event, and after.
Okay, so you want a war and hundreds of millions of people to die, so you can have a timestamp.
So we have something in common.
So that we can- you remember that time? Yes, all those people died, so we can now remember better.
So that we can have a shared timeline.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you know, if people are sort of like, you know, complaining about Netflix,
How dare they?
I mean, they deserve an invasion. Who's complaining now?
Yeah,
They'll
yeah,
say
yeah.
as they're riding a tank, you know?
Yeah. We're outside your house.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you want to complain? Step outside your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. When you were younger, did you hear about people going to Laos and Cambodia and Thailand and shooting a cow with a bazooka?
No.
You never heard about that?
No.
Everyone seemed to talk about that. That in those countries, they would take a cow and put him up on a hill and give you a bazooka and you could shoot it. I never believed that.
You never believed it.
No, do you believe it?
I mean, maybe. Because I've heard worse.
Oh, right. You have worse friends.
So somebody I used to know knew somebody
Right.
who was on a ship.
A random ship.
He was on a ship.
Yeah.
And he was traveling all over the world with the ship.
Mm.
And one of the stops along the way was in some African country where they were unloading or loading. Who knows? But there was like a day or two, whatever it was, where they could just go into the city and like stay at a hotel and, you know, hang out for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they went to a bar and went drinking. And then people like, hey, offer them drugs and prostitutes and all that stuff. And they say like, no, thanks. You know, I'm good. And then, do you want to kill a man?
No.
Yes. Like, what? Yeah, I do want to kill a man. And they're like, well, how does that work? So he told them, so what we do is that if you pay not a lot of money, they had a guy who worked at a prison, and they took one of the prisoners and then, you know, just like smuggle them out. And then you drove it out to a field and they gave you a gun and you can you know, do your thing.
Did they get a head start?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Did you get a four-wheeler? Did you chase after them?
I don't know if you get a horse or anything. I think they just brought a guy. And
Oh, you should probably get a horse. I mean, of course. I mean,
no, but he was just like, they just brought him there in handcuffs and like, okay, now you can shoot him.
no, come on. He's got to run, don't you think?
Well, you would probably prefer that.
I would prefer him running.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'd want a horse and a bow and arrow.
that's extra. We're trying to run a business.
It's
here.
always extra, isn't
We're
it?
trying to run a legitimate business.
But I
here.
mean, come on. You can't have the guy just show up in handcuffs and then shoot him. I mean, that's not okay.
that's what they did.
Yeah, but I'm sure a lot of the people requested running. Maybe he should have a meal of carbs so he can run faster.
What about not shooting him?
Huh?
What about not shooting?
Oh, I wonder what would happen if once he was there, you said, "No, I'd like to free him." What would they do then?
Probably shoot both of you.
Yeah, because the person who wants to free him is worse.
Well, listen.
It's very complex in Africa.
Listen, I think that's a complicated business model that they
I've-
have. You know,
It's more complex than the Panama Papers.
I don't know if they have an office or secretary.
They probably don't have a PO box,
You know, the email,
a complaint department.
yeah, HR,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
I'd like to see the complaints in that complaint department. Mine didn't run fast enough.
But that's what they did.
That's terrible.
Do you want to X a black man? That's what they said.
I was in Uganda. I was in a tiny village outside the city. Now, besides the pharmacy there that didn't ask any questions, this was kind of a scary place.
Okay.
And the main camera guy, he said, we need to go explore the city. We need to go film some stuff. And I said, that sounds dangerous. He's like, no, everyone's cool, because he was some hippie guy. So we wandered through the whole city, and there was tons of people, and they were all looking at us like they didn't like us. But nothing happened. We get back, and the guy said, how did it go? And it's like, no, it went okay. He's like, good. And then I found out later that like 3 bodyguards were like following us. And I figured that out, but the hippie guy was completely oblivious to it. He's like, everyone's cool, man. You know, and they really aren't, is my point. Don't assume people are cool, right? A lot of people make that mistake.
They do.
They do. They do. And they're all dead now.
They are.
All the people who assume people are cool are no longer with us.
That's true.
So again, healthy paranoia, always.
It's important.
And if you find yourself on a ship loading and unloading, you know,
And somebody's offering you a deal that is too good to be true.
an offer you can't refuse, a Christmas miracle.
Yeah. No, I think that, yeah, and that's not a great present. Here's a gift card. What? In Ethiopia? What's happening there?
Yeah.
No, it's listen.
It's a unique safari.
I have a ticket
Yeah.
for me and you. It's a one day down. It's a return on the same day.
You'll return a new man.
They pick us up at the airport.
Yeah.
They drive us out into a field somewhere.
They handle everything.
They handle everything's supervised.
Is there lunch?
We don't have time for lunch.
Everything's supervised. It's all supervised.
It's like, have you seen Jurassic Park? Yeah, it's like that,
Wow.
but only with handcuffs.
With less dinosaurs.
with no dinosaurs.
It's like Jurassic Park with no dinosaurs.
So yeah, so stuff is going on.
Yeah.
In conclusion, so this is the time. Christmas is the time to reflect on these things:
It is.
financial disasters. And ordering random killings.
And hunting humans for sport. You know, and also father-son activities.
Of course. Bring the family together.
I just really do wonder if, like, is there more insanity than there was, or are we saner? Because a lot of people think like this. They'll think the good old days, right? And in the good old days, there were no dentists. Like, there was no lidocaine. People just, like, pulled teeth, and it was all crazy, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad stuff back in the day. And there weren't a lot of rights, you know, at your coal mining job kind of thing. So things on the whole have gotten a lot better, okay? It's undeniable. But I'm just wondering, not in terms of living conditions or, like...
Well, that's not true.
What?
Living conditions is better.
No, yes, that's what I said. So not in terms of living conditions,
right.
or in terms of hygiene and, like, you know, disease and all this stuff.
Yeah, child death is down.
Right?
Every metric is pretty much good.
Right, but what about the sanity metric?
I don't think they have a sanity.
But I'm just like, I don't remember a lot of people going to a beach and firing for 45 minutes 25 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
People have done worse than that.
Like what?
You know, it wasn't the couple of years ago in Nice, in France, a guy who drove a big van into the Christmas market, killing 100 people.
They canceled a bunch of Christmas markets because of that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that has happened forever.
Yeah, but a beach doesn't seem like a killy kind of place.
It didn't used to be.
Yeah, but like, I would imagine most killers, even if they were intent on doing something bad at a beach, You show up, you get closer to the beach, you hear the seagulls, you feel that breeze, you know, you pop a Coca-Cola, kind of forget why you're there.
Yeah.
Put your guns down. Let's get a little tan first, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would think the whole thing would dissipate. Who can stay evil at a beach?
Do you remember Baywatch?
Yes.
That was like, it was a lot of crazy stuff happened at that beach.
A lot of
It's like,
crime.
well, like, listen, people go to the beach and there was like all these like nuclear bombs and stuff, like David Hasselhoff, like disarming a bomb at the beach. Like it was like that would never happen at the beach. What happened in Australia right now shows that Baywatch was kind of onto something.
That's what it does.
Right? Like a lot of stuff can happen. And of course, I'm just saying, I want to make this point perfectly clear. Australia, great country. We have one fan there.
Oh,
And enjoying our hot sauce.
that's right.
And you know, it's not an expression I usually use, but it's like our hearts go out
Yeah, of course.
to the victims and to the nation as a whole.
Right.
It's a horrible tragedy.
Yes.
I myself come from a place where it was a horrible tragedy many years ago now, but it's never easy. But that is why Christmas is so important. It's when you kind of like put down the what do you call it? Like the agony, the pain, the resentment, the bitterness, and you carve that turkey.
Put down the agony.
Yeah, you put down the agony, you put down the pain, you put down everything, and you cut that turkey, and you tell Grandma, did you know that only 2 people went to jail because of the Panama Papers?
Yep. And the conversation's going.
And she's just like, you know what? These are the conversation I wanted to have before the war.
That's right.
But we weren't allowed.
Replace the agony with turkey.
And then
Let the good times roll.
and then it's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, always.
Okay, people. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.